It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is KQRS. It is Monday, March the 10th. Good morning. It is not 5 o'clock. It is 6 o'clock. I swear to God.
I believe you.
I believe
I'm here
me.
with you. Yeah.
I have to keep looking at the clock. But, hey, that's how it goes when you're old and cranky. Let's get right to your top five at 6. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Number one. Before we get to number one, how are we, Ryder? I missed you on Friday.
Oh, I missed you too, but Mr. Ryder listened and he said that you guys all sounded excellent.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yes. Yeah.
God bless Mr. Ryder. And I don't mean that stereophonic song called Mr. Ryder. I mean your hubby. Number 5 on your top 5 at 6. The Vikings have signed Aaron Jones to a 2-year deal. The running back will be here for 2 years, $20 million, 13 of which is guaranteed. Not a bad year for Aaron Jones last year, of course, coming over from Green Bay. This is great. A lot of questions still about who's going to be the quarterback. This was kind of a no-brainer for the team, and for Aaron Jones, just great timing, which is usually how it works with these kind of contracts.
Less money to pay Aaron Rodgers, right?
That's exactly that. Yeah, less. And I mean, put it this way: if the team knew, if we had an ironclad quarterback locked into position, if we felt really, really solid about who was going to be that guy, you might not give him $20 million over 2 years. You might go, hey, man, how about, 16, and let's just call it a draw. But having him there is whoever comes in at quarterback, it's a security blanket, if you will. So good for you, Aaron Jones. Glad to have you still in town. I enjoyed watching him play for the Vikings.
Hard not to.
Yeah, hell of a guy. Number 4 on your top 5 at 6. If you, like me, are still looking at your clock and going, man, this is weird. Or if Chauncey is reminding you at all times that nothing makes sense. The time change, a few things that they say to do. As is the tip for pretty much everything in life that occurs to you, just stay hydrated. Always a big plan. Always a big bonus, I should say. You are more fatigued if you're hydrated. Drink extra water this week if you possibly can. I don't have to tell you that, Ryder. You walk around with a 6-gallon jug.
I know.
You're
Does
just
me good. I am so rarely sick. I'd say it's because I don't have children and I drink lots of water.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. I go through periods of time where I'm drinking tons of water and then I get lazy and stop. I never feel any better when I'm drinking a ton of water, but the minute I start to slow down, I feel it.
Way worse, right?
Yeah. Okay. So it's not like you get a buzz from it, but once you get, if you're putting down a gallon a day and then suddenly you cut it in half, you're aware of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Every
right.
cell in your body just says, "Where's my freaking water, lady?"
Don't lean on that extra cup of coffee. Also, stay hydrated and don't go for more caffeine. Caffeine later in the day, of course, is just an invitation to disaster.
And I am a caffeine junkie, but you were just telling me you went cold turkey.
I did. I came to work Thursday morning. For whatever reason, I was running a little behind, and I thought, I'm not going to make coffee at home. I'll grab it on the way. And then I got in the car and drove here and forgot that I needed coffee on the way because I'm a robot and I'm a hamster in a wheel. So I got in my car, drove to work, get to the studio. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't have any coffee. Got through the show, and then I was waiting for that no caffeine headache to settle in. It never really did.
Oh yeah.
And then by Thursday afternoon, I was like, wait a minute, it's too late to drink coffee now. So I guess I'll just go through with it. Got up Friday, same thing. Little headache Friday afternoon. It started to really kind of crush me. Worked through that. And now I'm on day 5. I just decided, you know what? Screw it. I'm going cold turkey. I have had more sleep in the last 3 days than I've had since I got to Minnesota.
Good for you.
I'm seriously. And no heartburn at all. I mean, my God, what is wrong with me? Why do I drink coffee? I'm gonna try to get through this.
I'm excited to see how long this lasts.
Me too, because man, getting real good sleep, wow, that's a reset. Who knew? Mm-hmm. Number 3 on your top 5 at 6. If you have $13,000 burning a hole in your pocket, have I got good news for you?
Oh boy.
You can be Gene Simmons' personal assistant and roadie for a day. That's right.
He's going to pay you $13,000 to do this?
No. You're going to pay him $12,500.
Okay.
Yeah, Gene Simmons with the Gene Simmons Band is going on tour. I would imagine that's just a bunch of Kiss songs and some covers. I don't know that Gene's going to do a lot of his new material.
Okay.
But he's got his own band, and on his website, you can go right there, personal assistant and band roadie for the day. You pay $12,500. Here's what you get: a meeting with Simmons and his band to go over the band's show day schedule.
Oh, boy. Sounds like a blast.
Yeah, tour manager's going to hand you a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That's all you need. There's no conversation. If you're having a conversation over the band's show day schedule,
it is too late.
Trust me.
Yeah.
You can be on his team crew for the entire day. You get a crew member shirt, hat, and VIP laminate. And you know that laminate has that date posted on it only because they don't want you coming back. You get a meal with Simmons at hotel or backstage, transportation to the venue with the band, backstage access, all this crazy stuff you get. You can bring a guest. You can take photos. And then my favorite part of this is where it says, you will find that Gene Simmons is very down-to-earth, funny, and knowledgeable on almost any subject.
Okay. Any subject?
I don't know, man.
Like marine biology? Let's go.
Gene, let's talk financial planning. Is it a good investment to spend $12,495 to hang out with you all day? Please weigh the pros and cons. You're getting far more than your money is worth. God, the guy is unbelievable. How about this?
Crazy.
Here's a crazy idea. How about you do that and just give it to somebody, just for free. You want to make someone's day? Don't make him pay $12,000 to hang out with you.
Yes. Give
just
it to
saying.
one super fan.
Just saying. Number 2 on your top 5 at 6. Oh, baby. Yesterday, I went out for the ye old power walk at like 5 in the afternoon in shorts and a t-shirt because it was not March 9th. It was apparently May 9th, and it was 59 degrees when I left the apartment. The high today could be as high as 70.
Talking about first 70 of the year. It's a big deal.
It's a very big deal, especially when it's March 10th. That just doesn't add up in my mind. Gonna be a little up and down all week long. A little bit of rain here and there, possibly even snow by the end of this week. But 70 degrees today would be an astonishing thing in my mind.
Today is the day to ditch work if you can.
I would say so.
Should have burned another sick day.
See? I'm impressed with you now that I think about it. Want to give a quick morning shout out to St. Anthony. Glad to have you listening to us, our friends in St. Anthony. You know what to do with that information. Number 1 on your top 5 at 6, Bing Bang Boom, Moorhead. Finally coming in hot from way, way, way up there. Northwest, if you will, right over there on the state line, way the hell far away. Moorhead 0 for 8 in hockey championship games before yesterday. 8 times in, 0 titles, and then yesterday they rang the bell early, got up on Stillwater 3-0. It was 5-1 after the first period. Yeah. Just an absolute boat race. It did not look like it
was going to be a good game, and then it turned out to be a good game.
Very, very, very tense late in the game. Stillwater chipping away. They pulled it to within 7-6 with 3:20 left in regulation. A couple of, very, very close calls late, but Moorhead tucks it away for their first title. Congrats to the Moorhead, Spuds.
To the Spuds, yeah, it sounded like this.
The wait is over. Moorhead, finally the champs.
That's awesome.
All that thud, thud, thud that you hear is the kids throwing their helmets, gloves, sticks, everything onto the ice. So
fantastic. Cool. Really, really exciting. Really, really cool. Congrats to Moorhead. Stillwater next year, boys. Come on. Let's do it. Let's get it again.
Ponies.
Let's get back there, ponies. That's going to do it for your top 5 at 6.
Sports history with the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
All right, let's look back on this day, March 10th, 1976. The Dallas Morning News published an article, a sports story, and the writer, this is what he wrote. Texas Tech Sports Information Director Ralph Carpenter was the picture of professional objectivity when the Aggies rallied for a 72-72 tie late in the tournament finals. Hey, Ralph, said Bill Morgan, this is going to be a tight one after all. Ralph said, hey, man, the opera ain't over until the fat lady sings.
No.
That's
really?
the first time.
Oh, man.
Anybody can ever find that usage. And then a couple years later, the coach of the Washington Bullets, Dick Motta, started using it regularly during the playoffs, and that's when it really caught fire.
Okay.
And it was simplified. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. But yeah, so it was on this day that a guy we've never heard of threw it out there, and it took a couple years, but hey, Dick Motta picked it up, and the rest was history.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen. One of the most misunderstood songs, I think, in rock history, safe to say. That
there are a lot of them.
When I look back on the mid-'80s, that and Every Breath You Take, people just singing it and having no idea what they're talking about. Every breath you take, they're like, I love you, baby, so I'm going to stalk you and probably kill you if the lights get turned out one night. Just a complete stalker's most menacing song ever. And then Born in the USA, disillusioned Vietnam veteran comes home and gets treated like crap.
Yeah, how it sucked to come back after the war.
Yeah. But hey, man, we didn't care. I remember I was in college when that song came out. Everybody was like, yeah, right on, woo, red, white, and blue. It's a good time. It's when you put it to that groove, that beat, and everybody gets to chanting along.
It's hard to make it a downer.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Lyrics be damned. Daylight savings be damned. That's pretty much the report. The KQRS Facebook post page has a question, just a simple poll. Keep it or end it, daylight savings. 77% of the over 700 votes now saying end it. Daylight savings, of course, the clocks raced ahead Saturday night. I was actually awake. I watched my iPhone go from 1:59 to 3.
Awake?
I just popped awake, and I just happened to be awake, and I went back to sleep.
Glad you were there for that exciting event.
Well, you know what? I've never seen that. If I've seen it happen before, it was with an actual clock that didn't set itself forward. I probably have been awake at that time. I'm saying, looking at the clock, go, huh? No, but it was the first time ever, and I was like, hey, this is about to happen, and then sure enough, it did. And then I went right back to sleep and woke up, and so far, I haven't had coffee since Wednesday, so I don't know if it's daylight savings or a lack of caffeine, but I'm a little loopy. I'll just come right out with it.
Sure.
Do you have a strong feeling on this crap either way, Ryder?
Yeah, we need to keep it. We need to keep doing the time change because it's going to screw us over in late June, early July. If we stay on standard time, sun's going to rise at freaking 4:30 in the morning, and the sun is going to set at 8 o'clock at night. And we need to quit whining about these 2 days in March,
right?
Because we want to have an amazing summer.
Okay. Would you extend? We used to go 6 months on, 6 months off. And now it's 8 and 4. Would you change that?
We could go back to 6 months on, 6 months off, I think.
I feel like that makes more sense. It was less drastic to me when you had the 6 months. Or at least I was younger and fresher and didn't care.
Yeah, when it was April, October, it made more sense. Stretching it, I think, then everybody kind of got goofy about it.
Like I said on the Facebook page, way more people saying, get rid of this crap. And to your point, Steve said needs to stay on standard time. I'd rather have sunrise just before 4:30 in the summer instead of just before 9 in the winter. So he wants a sunrise at 4:30.
I don't think people do. I think that people are going to be like, man, these birds are up real freaking early, and that's annoying.
Yeah, that is annoying. I think that the thing I've said for years, because I can never remember what's standard and what's saving. I don't remember what we just left standard time.
We're in daylight saving time right now.
This is daylight saving.
Yes.
So
yes.
Okay. I could get used to anything. I would say I'm in the third lane, which is just don't change it. Pick one and stay with it.
We're too far north. This is where all this crap comes in. That's fine if you're in Arizona and they don't change, and that's fine if you're in Florida. But yeah, sun coming up at 9 o'clock in December. No, thank you.
It is weird to think about a state not changing and how that wreaks havoc on people who live right across the state line. You know what I mean? If you're
well, now that your phone changes on its own, it's not that bad.
Well, no, but just things but you just have to remember that you're gonna drive 2 miles and you're on the same time, and then all of a sudden you're not. You're making adjustments every time your state changes, the next door neighbor state doesn't. It's weird. I dated a girl who lived on the timeline.
Okay.
She grew up in right on the timeline, so her home was in Central Time. The next town over, where everybody worked and where everybody went to school, was in Eastern Time.
I get that that's a little weird.
A 5-minute drive, and it took an hour and 5 minutes to get there. But by your clock.
There were many, many years where all of the liquor laws in Wisconsin were very different from all the liquor laws here, and we still managed to make it work. We knew what time we could get our beer.
Okay.
And we survived. So I'm confident that we can do this, especially in the Midwest.
Okay, you know what? There is a pragmatic, let's just boots on the ground attitude that we can, if we can make a decision and stick to it, we'll get through it. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely.
You believe.
I believe, yes.
All right, that's a beautiful thing. It does help for the golfers out there. I mean, I will say that. The 2025 Tee It Up Golf Card, speaking of which, number 3, presented by Club Champion, is on sale now. You can golf 7 area courses, and you can save over $200 while doing it. Text the word golf if you want more information, or if you just want to make the purchase. Text golf to 651-989-ROCK. You know, the rock and roll fantasy camp scene has blown up in the last few decades.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, weekend warriors, basement rockers, people with a job, so they can afford, you can pay a few grand, and for a weekend, you go either on a cruise or you go to a place, you meet some of your idols, you play, you jam, you get on stage. It's rock and roll fantasy camp.
Sure.
And I've never been to one of those. I've never been a part of one, but I know a few musicians who've been, and they say it's amazing. It's really great.
Oh, yeah? They like it from their end?
They really like it because you're just giving people like a dream. Like the guys really, really love, imagine you're like a bass player and then you're on stage and Roger Daltrey's singing right next to you. You're like, hey,
yeah.
All right, it's pretty good. And those things it's a few $1,000s for a weekend, and you get some time with these guys. But that's one way to go about it. Screw being a member of the band. What would you pay to be a roadie for a day? A member of the crew for the day? Do you think it's worth $12,495?
What?
Yeah. If you happen to be a giant Kiss fan, and more specifically, a Gene Simmons fan.
Okay. Gene
Simmons is on tour this year with the Gene Simmons Band, and they've got an offer now. Meet Gene Simmons backstage, and you're going to be able to do this. One person per gig gets to purchase this entire package.
So am I doing actual work, or is it just like roadie for a day kind of fantasy where I get to hang out with rock stars?
You hang out with a rock star named Gene Simmons. I don't know who's in the rest of his band. I don't know who the rest of his band is, but I doubt it's a lot of household names. Because I think I would know that. I think I would have heard about it. I think it's Gene and some dudes. It's probably Gene. It's probably Gene and some guys that were on the crew for Kiss.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, why not? But so Gene's on tour. You can purchase the personal assistant and band roadie for the day package. One person per show gets this. It's $12,495. And here's what you get.
Okay.
That's not what you get paid. That's what you pay.
I have to pay
You
the
pay
money.
$12,495. You meet with Gene and his band to go over the schedule for the day.
Well, that should already be done. That sounds easy.
Let me tell you something. Any band on tour, your schedule comes to you in a text in the morning or a piece of paper under your door. Here it is. Okay, thanks. We leave the hotel at 3. We sound check at 4. Dinner's at 6. Shows at 8. Thanks. But you're going to get together with Gene and his band and go over that. Then you're going to have a position on his team crew for the entire day. So for a whole day, and I imagine this means like at the hotel, at the venue, you are wearing a shirt that makes you look like a member of the crew, I suppose. You get to eat dinner with Gene. You travel to the gig with the band. You help the band set up for the show. Help the band set up for the show. That's questionable wording. What does the band do to set up for the show?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of guys who work locally setting up for shows. The last thing they want is some random person walking around stage.
Yeah, and you know who else they don't want on the stage? The band.
Yeah.
I can trust you. Believe me when I say, you know who gets in the way of everything? The band. The happiest crews in the world are the crews who work for bands that show up when it's time to play the show and then leave. Get out of my way.
Yes.
That's their gig. You're just the guy coming in and sitting down at a drum kit and playing for 2 hours and leaving. Get out of the crew's way. Gene Simmons will introduce you on stage. He'll sign your set list. You can take photographs throughout. You can bring up to 4 items for him to sign. Up to 4.
Up to 4.
But no instruments. However, you do get a bass guitar. You get one like a Gene, either an Axe bass, the Punisher bass, the acoustic Punisher, depending on what's available where you go and your market. You will be introduced on stage. That's, I guess, the highlight of this, is Gene brings you out in the middle of the gig.
I guess.
Are you
going to be able to resell some of this stuff on eBay afterwards to make up the $12,000?
I would certainly hope so. If you're going to spend $12,000 to go hang out with Gene, then congratulations. You've done very well in life. Or you're so nuts, you don't know how nuts this is. You're just living the dream.
Kiss fans, they buy the freaking casket.
Yeah.
Like, how many people do you think will actually cash in on this offer if he's got, let's say, a 30-date tour?
I'm looking at the dates. It is about that. It's a couple dozen at least. I don't know. I would love to know how many people there are in each of these markets that want to do that. I was really hoping we'd have a Twin Cities gig, but so far, no dice. No. Nope, nothing even really that close from the looks of it. So, Ryder, is there any artist in any time in your life you would have written the $12,000 check to go hang out with for the day?
I mean, I'm trying to think of a time in my life when I had a spare $12,000.
All right, let's say...
definitely Nirvana. Definitely Foo Fighters, like that sort of thing. Yeah.
Foo Fighters would be a good one because they're really nice guys. Like, they would actually be like, hey!
I hear if you're backstage, and you maybe can confirm if you're backstage at a Foo Fighters gig, they just keep giving you beers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's they have their like dressing room, and then they have they have other rooms just for all the guests and all the friends of the guests, and that room's just loaded with booze. And if you make it into the actual dressing room where the band is, anybody that's in there, I went to see the Foos in Memphis in 2011. Drove over. I was living in Nashville then. Drove to Memphis. It's a 3-hour drive. Me and a buddy, day of show. Hey, Foos are Memphis. Let's go. We drive over, walk in, and I've been friends with all those guys for years. We get our passes. Walk into the dressing room before the show, and it's a couple hours before the show, and the only person in the dressing room is Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
Just at that moment, he happened to be the only guy there. And I walk in. He's like, dude. I'm like, dude, like you do. And we go, big hug, what's up? And as I hug him, I look, and over his shoulder, I notice there's someone else in his dressing room, sitting in the corner in a big chair. Winona Judd. From the Judds, right. Winona, the daughter of the Judds. And there's no mistaking. No one's ever looked at her and said, is that Winona Judd?
No,
that's Winona Judd.
Yes.
And she looked up and smiled, and I'm still in a hug, and I smile, and then I go, Dave, what's Winona Judd doing here? And he whispers, I don't know. She just showed up, but she seems nice. Do you know her? And I go, no. He goes, damn. And that was it. And then he goes, Winona, this is Steve. Steve. She's like, hey, how's it going? And she, too, woke up that day in Nashville, saw the Foo Fighters were in Memphis, but she got on her own bus and took that over. And he goes, we just got a call. My production manager called and said, Winona's taking one of the bus bays. And I'm like, Winona who? He goes, Winona Judd. I'm like, Winona Judd? Winona Judd. It was this whole thing for the whole day. And then at one point later that night, Motorhead was the opening band.
Oh, nice.
I walked into that dressing room and I saw Lemmy, Dave Grohl, and Winona Judd having just the three of them standing there chatting. And I was like,
that's pretty great.
Just a pretty good little cross section of the world right here. All right.
Do you think Dave Grohl would have had the guts to ask Winona Judd to be his roadie for the day?
I can't imagine he would have. I don't know. She's a queen down there, man. You know, she can run for governor of Tennessee right now and probably still win.
Nice for her.
The people love Winona.
I mean, hard not to. She seems like a real friendly lady.
Mama, he's crazy. Crazy over me. Don't you get it? Don't you love it? Other things you can spend your money on that you probably shouldn't. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
Somebody in every city that Gene Simmons goes on tour this year can pay about almost $13,000 to be a roadie for a day.
Pay him?
Pay him. If you're interested in going and checking that out, just find Gene Simmons' website and you get all the details. There are some expensive hobbies out there.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp thing. That's a few grand for like a full weekend, I think.
Sure.
And people seem to really enjoy those. I know one person who plays polo.
Okay, like
on a horse polo. Not a highborn, not a milord from Epwich Dung Town Putney in England.
But like a regular dude.
A dude from Detroit, and he's a member of the Detroit Polo Club. And he was telling me about this. He was a record. He's been in the music industry and worn a million different hats. Done a lot of jobs over the years. And he's about my age, but this is probably 20 years ago. He's like, yeah, I really got into polo lately. And I just looked at him like, what? How do you get into polo lately? What does that even mean? And he's in this thing, the Detroit Polo Club. I don't know what it costs per year. It's $4 or $5 grand a year. I'm like, oh, well, I thought it was going to be way more. But then the pony, the polo pony, that's another couple $100 grand just to get in with your own, because you got to have your own.
You do?
And you want the proper polo pony. Yeah. You don't join a polo club and say, can I borrow a horse?
I thought that was the whole benefit of the club is they provide the horse and all the equipment.
No, they just give you a field big enough, I think, and enough tea and crumpets to make you feel like you're someone special. And I've just always been blown away by that. Like, man, of all the things you could get into, just general horseback riding, that's not enough. You got to play a game with a ball and a stick, and you got to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to hang out with people who look down their nose at you. Okay.
That is kind of wacky.
I also have one friend who is a cheese freak. I don't know if there's a word for a cheese addict other than they're addicted to cheese. She spends thousands of dollars a year on cheese. I'm not making this up.
Is it monger, or is that the person that gives you the cheese?
I think that's the person that is at the store. They're behind the counter, and they say, what cheese would you like? And you go, I don't know, man. I don't. You get something that's like cheddar, but it's not as simple as cheddar because I don't want to say I bought cheddar. That's your cheesemonger.
Oh, man. But cheddar's so freaking great.
It's
I'm
so
never
great.
going to turn down a cheddar.
I know. I like a lot of cheese, but my friend, she is in a cheese club in New York City. Spends a lot of money on rare cheese from around the world. She treats cheese the way she looks at cheese like I look at puppies. I'm not kidding. Just like, oh man, give me all those. Just let me hang out with all of them for the day. That's her and cheese. She's obsessed with cheese, and she'll explain like, oh no, I've got this Blakesville Creamery shabby shoe. You've got to have a wedge, and she doesn't talk like that at all. But when she talks about cheese, I put that accent on her.
Is Wisconsin her mecca? Has she been?
I don't believe she has. This is a New York native who's Boston and New York. That's as far as she goes, as far as I know.
Ellsworth, gotta go.
Oh, I got a truffle Gouda. It's gonna kill you. Like, no, it probably would kill me. Yeah. What kind of blue cheese do you prefer? Me? I like blue cheese. I didn't know there was an option. She'll just go deep on cheeses and literally spends thousands of dollars a year.
Damn.
But you know what? Hey man, I guess it beats hooch.
Sure.
I guess.
That's fair. Yeah.
I guess it does.
There are benefits to eating cheese, I'm sure.
I'm sure there are. Jeff Cesario is a very, very funny man. Chet Waterhouse, one of my favorite sportscasters.
Okay.
And for all I know, they both have some bizarre, expensive habits. We'll find out when the gentlemen give us a call. Jeff Cesario coming up. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Yes, Owner of a Lonely Heart, the song that out of nowhere bought them like a whole nother decade. Yes, dinosaur band from the 70s. Prog rock was dead. They were over. And then all of a sudden, boom, 1983, they are reborn. A phoenix rising from the ashes, as it were. Joining us on the horn right now, a gentleman from the world of sports who has risen from the ashes more times than probably he can remember. Still able to broadcast in most of the 50 U.S. states. Chet Waterhouse is on the horn with us. Chet, good morning.
Oh, brother, time for the Waterhouse update. Steve, I'm just going to launch right in.
Please.
Sponsored by AI. No, not artificial intelligence. Just an Italian guy thinking of an excuse. Hey, NFL news. Vikings rumored to be in talks to bring Aaron Rodgers to Minnesota. Just wanted to cause a couple of accidents on 35W. Myles Garrett signs with the Browns, Steve, for $150 million. That's like Herbie Hancock playing keyboards with Nickelback. But, okay. That item sponsored by OCDC, the most meticulous AC/DC cover band ever. Collages. No, wait, hang on. That's colleges. Oops. Duke has signed twin kindergartners from Charlotte whose height has already reached the deadbolt on their door jamb. Well, that's nice. For the first time in 2 decades, Steve, St. John's is going to make the big dance thanks to Rick Pitino's daily dose of baby cord blood from Sloan Kettering. That item sponsored by Incognito. You'd never guess we're plumbers. Finally, one Trump executive order we can all agree on. It's now illegal to run lacrosse highlights on SportsCenter. This week, folks, I'll be in Playa del Cartel, Mexico for the Involuntary Cliff Diving Championships. You'd be amazed, Steve, at how many somersaults a kid can do with a gun to his head. This is Chet Waterhouse reminding you to play with pain.
The involuntary cliff diving, a classic, a family favorite back in the old day. The Gorman family sitting around Wide World of Sports every Saturday. Oh, nothing better.
Sure.
Jeff Cesario now on the horn with us. Jeff, good morning, brother.
Man,
I tell you what,
out here.
Do you need a
I
lozenge?
don't know if people know it, but with the switch to whatever the heck it is, daylight savings time, it's like pitch black out. And I had a night. You know, I don't normally get up this early, so I had a nightmare that, honest to God, that I was in the studio with you and REO Speedwagon, and their lead singer couldn't make it, so I had to sing with them, and I didn't know any of their songs or words or anything. It was horrible. It was really bad. So I got to wake up and do my Wordle and things like that.
Sure.
And I don't know about you. I'm bothered by the fact that the word Wordle is actually 6 letters. But, maybe I'm a little OCDC myself. I don't like that.
It never even occurred to me, but you're right. That E is unnecessary. Just Wordle.
Completely unnecessary. And I notice things like that now. I'm fighting crankiness as I get older, and I know I crossed the line the other day. I bought the 2-pound bag of unsalted nuts at Costco.
Oh, boy.
You don't come back from crossing that line.
No.
I'm literally walking around the house like, hey, these are just like salted nuts, but worse. It's great.
Yeah, it's
horrible.
It's tough when you're someone's. It's worse when you're at someone's house and they put out unsalted nuts because you just can't. I can't even go for the second handful. I don't want to be a jerk, but.
Well, that's when you have to do the sneaky party mix where you throw the goldfish in with the nuts just to get some salt.
It's all about salt these days, Jeff. I mean, I last time I had my yearly physical, I did the blood work, did the whole thing, and for the first time, the guy said, "You got a sodium thing going on here," and I was like, if it's just now hitting me, I'm fine. Trust me. The fact that this is just now being mentioned in my late 50s means I'm way ahead of the curve. Should have been a red flag decades ago.
Did you paraphrase that, or did your doctor actually tell you, hey, you got a salt thing going on? That's pretty hip.
Yeah, sodium thing. Salt thing sounds cool. That's a good name for a band, Salt Thing. Need a band name.
You got it. Well, everybody's salty nowadays. I don't know about you. I'm in the dead center, and I'm a little tired of the far right and the far left. It's like watching two idiots play ping pong,
Sure.
and my neck hurts. I can't do it anymore. I was watching, and I'm going to give it to both sides, so everybody just hang on. But the other day, I'm watching that J.D. Vance grill Zelensky, like he said, Kappa Phi pledge at Appalachian State. I mean, like why don't you wear a tie? He's at war. Not many tank gunners and ascots floating around. I don't want to, let's just get back. And then, okay, now on the left, they drive me crazy. Defund the police was their biggie. That's the best they could do, Steve. Aren't they tapped into 95% of Hollywood? Did they call anybody? How about streamline the police? No, defund the police. Yeah. That's the best they could do. Or the they, them. Now, I know I'm a little nitpicky on this because I'm an English dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
I'm a writer. But you can't use a plural pronoun to represent a single person. Did anybody speak up at the meeting in the faculty treehouse at Kenyon College when they were cooking this? How about a new word? How about heg? H-E-G. Brand new word for all these. Heg and veg. I mean, they wrote whole new languages every time James Cameron writes a frickin' movie. Put some effort into it. Then you can ping pong back to the right, and now they're telling me January 6th was just a barbecue potluck or something. I mean, I guess we have footage, maybe not anymore. The bear spray and then the thing that killed me about January 6th is no cops for 2 hours. Then Barney Fife and 6 deputies showed up with netting from Menards. That was it. That was the security.
That was it.
I don't want to hear from either side. I just want to cool out and watch a little baseball. That's what I want to do right now.
Matt, well, it's a good time of year for you, brother. Now, you a proud Midwestern man, a Wisconsin man, and then a Minnesota man before you headed to the West Coast. So growing up, were you a Brewers guy?
No, growing up, I have an orphan story as a baseballer because I was a Milwaukee Braves fan.
Oh, sure.
And then, of course, they moved when I was a little tyke.
Yeah.
So my heart was broken.
Oh, yeah.
And, in my emotional state at the age of 8 or whatever I was, I went to the Cubs.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I grew up in Kenosha, Wisconsin, so that seemed like the logical geographic choice.
Sure.
And then 25 years later, at the age of 32 or whatever, I went, well, I can't hold myself to that. I was just a kid.
Yeah.
So I switched to the Twins, and then when I moved out here, I finally switched to the Dodgers. So I'm a bit of an orphan, although I'm having fun watching the Dodgers now that Steve Garvey's gone. That was my only requirement. Ditch Steve Garvey, and I'm a Dodgers fan. We caught a playoff game last year.
Nice.
And I'm telling you, I don't know if it's just out here or everywhere, but ballpark food, out of control. There's churro pinwheels on a stick for $80. And
yeah, sure.
prosciutto and melon bowls and a Lazy Susan, that's $150. Then you got nachos in a hollowed-out canoe for $700. Ballpark food, Steve, should be easier to eat, not harder. There's balls flying around the park at 110 miles an hour.
It's a good point.
I don't want to be distracted by a hot dog the size of a Dyson vacuum. I want to be focused. That's all I'm saying.
Jeff Cesario is with us on KQRS this morning. Jeff, I probably may have told you this story, but the first time I ever went to Dodger Stadium was sometime in the 90s, and I remember being so almost annoyed at how amazing it was. I just didn't want it to be. You're just like, oh, L.A., this and the smog and the traffic and La Sorda, and I'm sick of all of it. And I walked out into Concourse the first time I stepped into the yard where you can see the palm trees and everything, and it was a nice clear day. And I just went, oh, my God, it's baseball nirvana.
Yeah, it is truly one of the best stadiums on earth. Like I say, the food's expensive. And I think it's happening now all over the parks and just regular now, Steve. What's with hot peppers on everything? Apparently, we're so bored with regular, delicious food that now it has to be bathed in ghost peppers. We're so numb to life, Steve, that eating has to hurt now in order to be felt. Life is like Fight Club now. It's like Wolfgang Puck's new restaurant, Fight Club for your tongue. I don't know why everything has to be so hot. And I'll add this about baseball, because out here there's fans of every team. I'm walking down the street yesterday, Steve. I saw an old Cleveland Indians hat the other day. The one with the laughing chief?
Sure.
And I thought to myself, yeah, that is way wrong. I can't believe that wasn't outlawed in 1922. It took us that long?
Sure it did.
Oh, God.
Jeff Cesario is with us now. So you've been. I mean, it's funny because you and I met. You were in LA. You'd already been in LA for a while. But I still think of you as a Minnesota guy. Because how long were you actually here? How long were you in the Twin Cities?
I was only in the Twin Cities about just under 2.5 years. But I came back probably twice a year as a comic to work the clubs there. For a good 15 to 20 years after that, I was back every couple of years. I mean, every twice a year. Yeah. So I was quite the fixture there for a fairly long time. And if I had a chance to be doing road work now, I'd probably be getting out a little bit. I did record my album there. What was I thinking was the name of the album? I recorded that at Acme, which is still, hands down, one of the top 3 rooms in the country.
It really is. I mean, we have a lot of people coming through Acme that come in on the show, and its reputation. It's kind of like CBGB or the 40-watt club in music terms, or First Ave for that matter.
Absolutely. And, the only thing keeping me off the road is now, my daughter's 16, so I have defibrillator paddles in every room, Steve. Oh, my God. The one thing I don't have that you're supposed to have as a parent, but I'm just too freaking old to get it now. It'd cost $1 billion. But I don't have life insurance because To me, life insurance is just a gold-plated invitation to appear as a victim on an episode of Dateline.
Oh,
it's
sure.
They're always pouring antifreeze in your coffee for the life insurance.
Sure.
It's just, I mean, you never hear from, Josh Mankiewicz. She put 6 bullets in the back of his head on the off chance she could cash in on his cryptocurrency. You never hear that.
No, you don't.
It's always the life insurance.
The life insurance. It's a sucker bet. You know what I mean? You're announcing to the world. You can get the life insurance and make sure no one knows you have it, I guess. But then you don't look like a hero. So I mean, really, what's the point?
Yeah, and then you're just setting your wife up with the lawyer.
Sure.
Because he's going to go to her. I know a secret, and then you just aimed your wife square at your lawyer. It's really sad.
Just the lesson or a hot tip out there to anybody listening: never Google, do I have to pay taxes on life insurance? Just never even do. Ask someone, but don't Google it because they'll find out if you're searching it.
Yeah, keep everything secret. Keep it on the hush-hush. That's like your Christmas Eve run to the store. Keep that on the hush-hush. Did you do that? I had to do the Christmas Eve run to the store for the one ingredient.
Oh, sure.
And everybody in line is a guy, and everybody in line has one ingredient. I had blue cheese crumbles. The dude in front of me had nutmeg. There's nothing left on the shelves. It's all off-brand stuff like Ben & Jerry's flour, Alabama cinnamon. It's horrible. Don't never do it. That's my advice.
I have a very vivid memory of a Christmas Eve run to the drugstore for Scotch tape. And they were out. And I got to tell you, man, there's nothing worse. You're like, oh, the kids were very young, but it's like, how in the world did we just run out of Scotch tape and we still have 9 things to wrap or whatever?
Oh, that's when you're just desperate and you're like,
oh, yeah.
Hey, maple syrup will work. It will.
Yeah,
Let
right.
it harden.
No, I bounced around. I think it was I hit a Walgreens and 2 CVS's before I got what I was looking for that night. It was great. Real fun way to spend the holiday.
Yeah, just horrible, man. That is horrible.
Hey,
what a way to do it.
I do want to ask you, back to baseball real quick. Have you been to Target Field? Have you seen the Twins at home since they got this new ballpark, 15 years ago?
I did, and I caught the last inning. I happened to walk in. I had a gig, and I walked in after my gig, and they had gone to extras or something, so it was like the 10th inning. And I just walked in and caught a game. Beautiful field, man.
Yeah,
I
awesome.
love it.
It is really nice. It's been an awesome. I've been to more Twins games than just about anything else since I got to town. Dig it a lot.
And now they put the fields. Wherever you go, we're running out of land. So it's like any town you go in, they got a new stadium, and you go, "This is beautiful." What did it used to be? A nuclear test site. Oh,
sure.
okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's right. No, listen, man. You can do you can make a lot of magic on a landfill spot. Trust me. If as long as the landfill was there for at least 30 years, you can do anything on top of that thing.
Yeah, as a guy who's done rock and roll festivals in the Upper Peninsula, I believe you.
That's very true. Jeff? What's the last rock show you saw? Last rock concert you went to?
Oh God, I think we caught David Byrne. At the Wiltern, maybe 6 years ago.
Oh, it
was really good.
Oh, yeah, really with the band where everyone's playing their instruments, no amps on stage, no mics, that whole thing, all the gray suits, that tour?
No, it was the era right before that, so it was probably a little longer ago. It was the era where, and you know me, it was the era where he had, the Latin band.
Oh, yeah.
And so he would just pipe up these sort of, Talking Heads numbers, and then all of a sudden, the Buena Vista Social Club would kick in behind him, and and I'm in seventh heaven with that stuff.
Oh yeah, you are. Percussionist Jeff Cesario, by the way. Not a lot of people know that. A man who can work his way around the congas, the timbales, you name it, he can do it.
That's right. I don't embarrass myself. That's about as good as a level as I got to.
You're way ahead of the game. If you can play an instrument and not embarrass yourself, you are winning.
I did always drums. The trap set I would see guys like you, and I would go, well, no, that dude can play. I grew up with a dude named Steve Houghton who played his butt off, wound up playing with Freddie Hubbard and all these big jazz artists. So I got out of the trap set pretty quickly. I did play in wedding bands, and that's a special skill because you have to deal with the people coming up for requests in a wedding band, and it's always the drummer because he's got nothing in his mouth.
Yeah.
So they figure they can talk to you.
Sure.
And it's always like, hey, do you know any AC/DC? And I'm playing, and I'm like, oh, yeah, we'll do Highway to Hell right after we finish the Hokey Pokey. Okay, kid?
That's it, yeah. Yeah, AC/DC, the one song of theirs I think you could actually maybe say is a ballad fit for weddings is it's still called Love Hungry Man. I mean, it's not exactly And I Love Her by the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly. Aunt Karen may not agree with the title on that one.
Maybe not. Jeff Cesario on the morning show. Jeff, it is a pleasure to speak with you, brother. The album, What Was I Thinking, recorded at Acme Comedy Club. Available at Apple Music, all streaming services. It's well worth your time. Brother, it's been too long. I can't wait to see you next time.
Hey, we'll do it. We'll do it. We will do it.
Thank you for calling in. See you, bud.
You got it.
The great Jeff Cesario right there, along with a quick hit from Chet Waterhouse, my favorite, OCDC, the world's most, what did he say?
I don't know. I'm going to have to listen to the tape, man.
The world's most specific AC/DC cover band. Oh, they're sweating at OCDC. All right, top 5 at 9 coming up. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show on Minnesota's Classic Rock, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is KQRS for Monday, March the 10th. Good morning. It's a little after 9, but that's okay. We still are within the realm of possibility to share with you our top 5 at 9. The 5 stories we want to share. If you're just getting started on your day, here's some things you probably need to know. Number 5. The Vikings have re-signed running back Aaron Jones. Not just that, they gave him $20 million for 2 years, $13 million guaranteed. That's good money if your running back and your name isn't Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
So Aaron Jones, well done. He earned his keep. A career high in rushing yards with the Vikings last year for Aaron Jones. That's pretty outstanding. 1,138 yards, 4.5 yards per carry. That's the kind of numbers you like to hear. Not getting any younger, but then again, around the league, it seems like running backs are back in. We're kind of reminding ourselves, oh, yeah, it really helps to have a good running back.
It's just a nice screw you to Green Bay.
That's exactly what it is, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Good timing for Aaron Jones coming into a team, having a good season, and then now not sure what the quarterback situation is. You don't want to mess your backfield around until you know who the quarterback is. Yeah. So you want a guy that knows the system. You want a locker room leader, et cetera, et cetera. So good for you, Aaron Jones. Number 4 on your top 5 at 9. If you're spending too much time doom scrolling on apps, don't worry. There's another app you can get. It's coming out this week, and it's called Touch Grass.
Okay.
We know what touch grass means, don't we?
Yeah.
It's when somebody's just too wound up in anything. You look at them and you're like, get a clue, get a life, go touch grass.
Yeah, or go make some yellow snow.
Yeah, exactly. Go take a deep breath. Get back and get back to something a little more realistic. Get yourself grounded. Go touch grass. Get offline. Go to the real world. Anyway, the app Touch Grass, it will force you to literally go outside and touch grass before it allows you to open the apps on your phone. It asks you, so if you get this app, I could go in a lot of directions there. Touch Grass will ask you to choose 2 apps that are your biggest time sucks. What do you want to limit? So let's say it's Instagram and Facebook. And then the only way your phone will unlock them is you take a picture of yourself outside actually touching grass. You submit it, and then the app Touch Grass will allow you to open up the app that you're an ass about. It's just one of those other things where it's like, oh, you got too many apps? Here's another one to help you with the other apps.
Right, and it feels like it's going to be real easy to cheat on this.
I would imagine. I'm fascinated by the psychology of the person who says, I need that app, and then they buy the app, and then they cheat on the app. How about this? Delete the apps that are sucking all your time. Just get on your laptop once a day and check in. You don't need to look at them every 5 minutes, although I've thought a lot about this, about the benefits of being bored and how we have now generations of people that don't know what it's like to be bored. And I mean really bored. Like, yeah. I'm bored. I am bored if I find myself looking at my phone. I'm just like, I mean, it doesn't help me. I just if I notice that I'm just scrolling for no reason, I'll set it down, and then I'll just sit there and allow myself to be bored because I had years of that, and that's usually where your good ideas come from. You can get a whole lot of subconscious activities straight in your life when you're bored.
Did you have a mom that yelled at you if you're bored, then you're boring, and you had to go entertain yourself?
I don't remember the words exactly, but pretty much only boring people get bored. Something like that, I believe I heard once or twice. But getting bored is, just staring out a window in the backseat of a car on a family road trip because there's nothing you can do. There's no handheld anything, and you've already played the alphabet game or the license plate game. Those are good times for a developing brain. I'm dead serious. The creative people, and if you want to create, get bored. It helps.
Noted.
So anyway, if you're going to get the Touch Grass app, just leave me alone. You're weird. Number 3, speaking of weird, if you're a Gene Simmons fan, heads up. You can spend a day with Gene Simmons on his tour. The Gene Simmons Band is going out this year. You can pay to be a member of his crew for the day. It's called the Personal Assistant and Band Roadie for the day.
Like $100? Special
package. Well, let me tell you what you get for this. You meet with Simmons and his band to go over the band's show day schedule. I can't even imagine what that means. You get a position on the crew for the day. You get a shirt and a laminate. You get to eat dinner with Gene. You have backstage access, sound check access. Simmons will introduce you to the audience during the show.
That's neat.
You get a set list signed by Simmons. You get a bass, blah, 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 blah. And there's one per gig. One fan gets to do this per gig.
So it's like $500.
It's $495 after the first $12,000.
Oh!
$12,495.
Jeez.
My favorite part of the whole thing on the website for Gene Simmons, that would be GeneSimmonsActs.com. Among the talking points, my favorite is, you'll find that Gene Simmons is very down to earth, funny, and knowledgeable on almost any subject. Down to earth, really?
Yeah.
Down to earth? He's charging you $15,000 to hang out with him. He's down to earth. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Maybe so. We'll see. Oh, Gino. Never change. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9. Man, it's cooking out there, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday, 60 degrees. Today, maybe as high as 70 in the Twin Cities, which is just mind-boggling to me. It is March the 10th. This could be the first 70-degree day of the year at the airport. Warmer temperatures going out through the week. Of course, they say by Sunday maybe a little bit more snow, but nothing of consequence. If you're thinking about heading out to the range, got a bucket of balls, calling your name, man, this is going to be a good day for it.
How fast are you putting on shorts as soon as we wrap up this show?
I'm embarrassed I'm not already wearing shorts. Honestly, it's just I just wasn't thinking ahead. I am wearing Birkenstocks.
I saw those.
I know you did.
Yeah. And I wasn't going to tell anybody. So.
I just, the Birkenstock thing for me, it's really almost more just to watch people try not to look at them. Some days I just don't have the energy to bend over and put a shoe on.
I understand that.
All right. Hey, I want to say good morning to Chanhassen. Anybody out there in Chanhassen, you know who you are. Hope you have a wonderful Monday. And anybody else that knows where Chanhassen is, and specifically if you know how to spell it, you know what to do with that information.
Yeah.
Number 1 on your top 5 at 9. The state hockey title, the boys tournament, wrapped up at XL Energy Center over the weekend. And Moorhead, finally, after going 0 for 8 in championship games, Moorhead at long last.
The wait is over. Moorhead, finally, the champs.
A big win over Stillwater. You would have thought this was just over after the first period. Moorhead with a 5-1 lead.
Right?
5 minutes in, they were up 3-0. They just came out focused and ready to rock. Stillwater, though, grinders apparently. The old Stillwater came back, made it very close. In fact, with a couple minutes left, it was 7-6, and Stillwater pressing like mad. That's how it ended. Moorhead 7-6 victors and state champs.
Yes, and then the East Grand Forks. So it was a really good day to be a hockey fan in the Red River Valley. East Grand Forks took that single A championship.
That's right. So right there. Ponies, they're better luck next time. Spuds, after going 0 for 8. Well done, gentlemen.
Nice work.
Well done indeed. There's your top 5 at 9 for Monday, March the 10th. We still got a little time in the day to figure out the rest of the day. Ryder, what you going to do today?
Well, I'm going to rest my voice because I sound like total garbage. I had no idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were just trying to get our attention. No, you don't sound like total garbage at all.
Oh, well, thanks. That's very sweet of you to say. But yeah, a lot of vocal rest day. I'm going to try and get in the sun. Also, Prime has been pummeling me with this documentary about a record store called Tower Records called All Things Must Pass.
Okay.
So I'm finally going to cave and watch it.
I would imagine that's. I haven't seen it. I would probably. I'm gonna add it to the list. Yeah. Yeah. Tower Records, man. I was a big Tower Records guy back in the day.
Oh, sure.
Very, very. That's hours and hours and hours at a time. Just wouldn't even buy anything half the time, but just to be in record stores. I tell my kids when they go to the Apple store, I'm like, that's what record stores used to be like. Just a bunch of people standing around all feeling pretty good because we're all together and just looking at records and talking about records and arguing about records. And sometimes you'd buy one. Yeah, it's a good way to go through the day.
What about you?
I'm going to have to do it eventually, and today's probably as good a day as any. Got to get to a driving range. Got to go hit a bucket of balls.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, it's time. It's been way too long since I put the club in my hands and pretended I knew what I was doing. So maybe either, I don't know, Columbia or Hiawatha, or I'll just see what it looks like.
Who's got the shortest line?
Pretty much. Yes. That's it. So, golf balls for me, Tower Records doc for you.
Sounds
Tomorrow on this show, the roast master himself, Jeff Ross, live in studio.
So excited. I've been waiting 6 weeks for this.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. Looking very forward to talking with him again. What's up next? Well, that would be Chris Nelson, and he's got your shot for Wild tickets during the free ride at noon. Hang tight.
Get the KQ Morning Show podcast wherever you listen. 92 KQRS.